All right, what's going on, everyone, and welcome to True Nerds. My name is Cobsy, and this is gonna be our first podcast. So, got myself and we got Drolly. I'll do a little introduction. Been gaming my whole life, right? I'm huge into RPGs. I'm getting into the tech world a little bit now that I've been talking more with Dan, PC building. So, pretty much, I love everything about video games, right? We've been consistently talking on our drive homes and whatnot. So one day we just decided, hey, let's take what we talk about and put it on YouTube, put it in a video, podcast, whatever. So here we are. But yeah, that's about me. So Drolly.
I'm Drolly. I've been gaming my whole life and always been a nerd. And I love technology and computers and video games. I focus a little bit more on hardware. I love building computers, tinkering with computers, overclocking computers, pushing them to their limit, finding the best price to performance ratio, all that good stuff. So that's kind of what I like to do when I'm not playing video games. Yeah, so that's what my expertise is kind of on, is on the hardware side.
Yeah, when you're talking price of performance, we've built my PC from the ground up on a budget, right? I mean, not a budget per se, but we've built it at good price points, right? Dan, he will watch for sales, whatnot, and be like, hey man, it's time to upgrade a GPU. I see this, or hey man, time to get a new fan. Like actually this week, what do we got coming in for my PC this week?
We have a Be Quiet Shadow Rock 2 CPU cooler, hoping to make the computer a little bit more silent and also be able to hit higher clock speeds and be able to render out videos on continuous hours without running into any thermal or performance issues.
Yeah, right now I got was it Corsair? Yeah, Corsair. It's beautiful RGB, but it doesn't keep my CPU as cool as it should be. So excited for that, man. But what have you been doing this week? What have you been playing?
Well, we're on the Destiny grind. I've been playing too much of that.
Never thought I'd say I'd be back on that stupid game again. But here we are. Seems like it's Witch Queen, man.
I know that trailer got me too hyped, and I was like, all right, I'm back into it. Still some kind of issues with the game. The grind is ridiculous, and but PvP is fun. PvE is good. Actually, messing around more and more with builds than I ever have in the past. So it's fun. Otherwise,
that is not to cut you off. That is one thing that I do really like right now, but I'm also excited for too, that they're going to progress on their builds. So you look at not only the armor standpoint, but when you're looking at, they're saying that you can build your own weapon, pick your own roles based on using the weapon for the Witch Queen. That's what I'm stoked about, right? You don't have to just sit there and grind to get the role you want. You can actually be like, all right, I'm going to use the shit out of this weapon, and then start picking the roles you want to go for.
For sure. I was actually literally talking about 2 years ago about a system to implement like that, where it's you if you've already put in the hours, like you can kind of build out the role you want, and it offers a level of building to fit a specific build that you're trying to do that the current game just doesn't offer right now, where at a moment's notice you could be like, hey, I'm going to run a grenade build. I want the demolition perk on one of my weapons, so every time I throw a grenade it reloads the magazine and stuff like that, where now you have to go into your vault, pick out a weapon with it on there, and I don't know, it's time consuming, and honestly I never do it. I run with the same like god tier bill, or
your bread and butter
weapon.
Bread and butter,
exactly, all the time. So I'm really looking forward to that. Definitely.
Did they say when they did the Witch Queen trailer, did they say like exactly how it's going to work, or they haven't really released that info yet? They just said like the more you use your weapon, is how you're going to pick your roles. They kind of left
it vague right now, so it kind of sounds like you level up a weapon, and I don't know if, like, my original thought was like you get a role with one of the perks, you either like dismantle it or dismantle so many of those with that perk, and then you unlock that perk to upgrade your weapon. They kind of seem more like it's like leveling it up and using it and getting kills with it,
which I love,
which is kind of what which was based off of kind of like the D1 system, a little bit more kind of a hybrid of what we have now. And yeah, I think that's should hopefully work out really well. Hopefully they don't implement it really poorly.
You don't think they're gonna go back to like grinding resources, do you? I don't think. No, actually, I think they specifically said they don't want to do that. They want like a hybrid in between, right? Like you use your weapon to upgrade your perks or pick your perks, right? Because I could be misunderstanding this. You know a lot more about the game than I do, but they're talking like the more you use the weapon, you like open a perk pool essentially, right? Am I understanding that right or no?
That's what it sounds like from what they've explained so far, but
Okay.
they haven't really gone into like too many details about it. So
Yeah, that will get me to stay. Like I just started playing the game a couple months ago, and I got the Destiny itch, which is horrible because it wants to consume me, but I'm pacing myself because the season is fun, but I don't want to just grind relentlessly on it and get burned out, which I typically do.
yeah, for sure.
But yeah, I don't know. We're both having fun with it, but
Definitely.
I don't know. We're probably gonna jump on tonight, right? Play a little
Oh
bit,
yeah.
do the weekly. So,
Oh yeah.
dude, that Game Boy thing I sent you today that you already
That's
had.
awesome. Yeah, it's really
Yeah.
funny that I literally already had bought it. I was gonna
So
message it to you, but I was like, he doesn't seem super into the Game Boy.
I don't even have a Game Boy. I had an OG Game Boy, which I actually found in my parents' house the other month, which is pretty sick. I don't even know if it works, but um, so I can't even remember what it's called. What is it? It's the it doesn't matter. Well, anyway, so it's this essentially this plugin. It's USB-C, the normal USB, and you can plug your Game Boy cartridge into it and run it on your PC. Um, and you can export saves. You can import saves. So if you got a save you want to keep on your computer, you can keep the file, and then you can export that to your game cartridge itself. So like say you don't want to grind Pokemon and you just want to be end game, you can actually get someone's save, download it onto your cartridge, which I don't know why anyone would do. That seems kind of silly, but who knows? I mean, there's a market for everyone. But I think the coolest thing is just playing the freaking game on your PC, right? You can sit back with a controller and play a Pokemon game or, an OG Zelda game. But how much was that thing? Did you look up
It's
the
50
name of it?
bucks. It is the GB Operator by Epilogue. Yeah, and it's a Game Boy Advance, Game Boy cartridge thing. You just slap it on your desk, plug it into your computer, and
Dude, it
it
looks
syncs
sick,
up. And
man.
yeah, dude, it's really cool. And like you could already kind of like download ROMs and do a bunch of other stuff on your PC, and you don't need any of these accessories, but just the ability to be able to save it back to your game and then take it on the go with you on a
Right.
Game Boy is just awesome. Like you have the itch to play it like authentically, you can go and do that and then click save it. And, or like you just never know with there's actually like the video that we saw, there is batteries on each Game Boy cartridge that holds your save. And so if it dies or you remove it or go to change it, you lose your save. So this is a way to back up all your saves so that you can have them for years and never have to go back. So yeah, you grind and cut all 151 original Pokemon. You don't
Was
have
that
to ever
really
do
how
that
many
again.
there are? So
On the
150.
original ones. Yeah.
That's a good number drop right there. I have no idea. I
Yeah.
haven't played since elementary school, unfortunately. But well, not even that, but like you look at all these people that they're collectors or this or that, but they're choosing ROMs because they're more accessible versus spending a bunch of money on the games or this or that. But in this case,
Or yeah, like there's a whole market out there for upgraded original Game Boys where they CNC'd metal like bodies, an actual backlight with a like LED screen. They're like
oh yeah, because
200,
the first
250 bucks.
the first
First
one
ones didn't have any
right,
backlights.
right.
And so there's a whole market out there of like aftermarket Game Boys that are like really expensive. And so this would be kind of like a way that you could at least enjoy your Game Boy games really easily and accessibly.
Mm-hmm.
And then, if you want to ever put it back in your Game Boy game and play for 20 minutes, half an hour, and just get that nostalgic feel back for the game, you can go ahead and do that.
Right. I mean, because obviously it's gonna be a lot more comfortable if you're playing on a controller on your PC, and I feel like it'll just be better, on or knowing that it's a game that you actually own. It's like
Right.
me, I'm a physical collector, and that's what I was going with earlier. But then I got kind of sidetracked in my head about the prices that Pokemon is right now. But completely didn't make any sense. But if you're a physical collector and you want to play the game in the best possible setting, this
Yep.
this really hooks you up with that, especially for $50, man. That's insane.
Yeah.
When I saw that, I thought it was at least probably gonna be 100. I mean, it's not, for as simple as the technology looked, why has no one made it? That's what I want to know. Is it the software application or?
I think it's just like they figured out a way to save back the ROM. And so it's got to like emulate Game Boy hardware. So the ROM thinks it's in a Game Boy, and that when you click save, it saves it back to it. So they've kind of reverse engineered Nintendo's process of saving in a Game Boy game, and being able to put it back on the Game Boy or Game Boy Advanced.
Right. Yeah, that's great. I mean, and two, they're saying in the future, like right now, it didn't seem to work. But it will tell you if it's an authentic copy.
Yeah.
So because a lot of people try to, make fake copies, and obviously they're not worth nothing. They're near anything.
No. I've been
which
trying
is
to
scummy,
collect,
super scummy.
I've been trying to
people.
collect like original Game Boy cartridges. And so I was
Trolls?
trying to.
You're collecting what?
Game Boy
Pokemon
cartridges.
No idea.
Pokemon, yeah.
Don't even talk to me about it.
I just bought some Pokemon DS games, and they're really expensive for the authentic ones, but you can get them for $13 for a ripoff ROM or a cartridge and stuff like that. So yeah, and then I see Game Boy Advance and Game Boy ones all over the place for $10 a thing or $5 a thing or whatever. So yeah, it kind of stinks that there. And then there's some sleazy people out there who recase it. Most of them are like pretty upfront about it.
Right, like, right.
Man, this is just a ripoff. If you just want to play the game and have it in a new cartridge, here you go.
I do. Cool. I do want to rephrase what I said. It's not scummy if people, like, in my opinion, if they're upfront about it, but it's scummy if they're trying to sell, $150, $200 cart for saying it's authentic. Like if you go into
if you've got the original packaging and stuff and it's an authentic game, they go for $150, $200 like a game.
Right.
But it's people who will buy a blank game cartridge or like case, print out a new sleeve, pop it in there, and reload a ROM. So their cost is $10 or whatever. Yeah. And they're trying to sell it for 150.
Yeah, actually, in the collecting world, you're going to go into pawn stores a lot, right? I went into the pawn store here locally, and the lady's like, I actually need to change the tag. I can't remember what kind of game it was. It wasn't a Game Boy, but it was an N64 game. She's like, I need to change the tag because someone actually told me, hey, this is not authentic. Yeah. So, there's people trying to get money everywhere in that. But, dude, I'm stoked because I'm finding out that you're actually into single player games now.
Generally been more of a multiplayer person, but I've been getting more and more into single player games.
So talk about Kena, because I'm gonna buy that game, but let's hear it.
So you started playing Tales of Arise, and I was like, okay, I want a single player game when I'm not playing Destiny, and I saw that, and the graphics on it aren't insane. B, it's got an incredible story. Their attention to detail is awesome. The sound is next level. This feels like one of the first next gen games I've played. Like, there's no loading screens. The graphics.
You're playing on your PC, right? Yeah.
Playing on PC.
It's PlayStation and PC exclusive. Was it a timed one, or is it's just gonna be PlayStation and PC? I can't remember on the. Anyways, sorry.
But colors just pop. It's from the studio was originally an animation studio, and so their cut scenes and the gameplay feels like an animated movie, like a Pixar type movie, moment to moment gameplay with it, and it's just a ton of fun. Great story so far. Like I can kind of get into any game as long as it's really well done, and man, this game is well done. The sound just like envelops you. Just forget about wherever you are, and you're like, I'm here. I'm in this beautiful world right now. And so
it looks so good.
It's really good.
I haven't played it yet, but I watched someone stream it, and he just stopped and just like looked around, and
there's like movie set pieces, right? Like a lot of video games have them, but these seem like like you're in a movie, and you just like you're walking up and you come out of a forest and there's just this massive like mountain range behind you. And what's crazy is like it feels like it's rendered all the way out.
Mhm.
So you can see like levels of trees, and there's trees behind those trees, and there's a mountain behind this, and there's a mountain behind that mountain. And a lot of those like big far off set pieces seem really flat because they're just kind of like an image, almost a really high detailed image, but this feels very three-dimensional with depth like in taken into account, and it feels like it's there and you can just walk up and touch it. Like it's
Look at
impressive.
you. Look at you. You're getting excited on it, man. I
It's
love it.
impressive.
I love it. Yeah, dude, I'm gonna play it.
That's
I
one you
just
need like either some good speakers or a good set of headphones
right.
for.
Yeah, I need to upgrade these, but yeah, once I'm done with Tails, that's the next game. Hopefully it's on a sale by the time I finish Tails. Tales of
I
Arise,
mean,
but
okay, but
it's 40
40
bucks,
bucks.
right?
It's 40
And to give
bucks.
it to a small developer, I'll spend that money all day. Like
Yep. And they're
I've
going
thought
through they're going through the Epic Game Store, which is probably one of the reasons that they can offer it for 40 bucks, because
okay.
as scummy or as disliked as the Epic Game Store is, they're usually really developer friendly. If you develop
Hmm,
on the Epic engine, then you can sell your games on the Epic Store. It's like one flat rate. Your
really?
cost for paying for the license their engine are rolled into you selling it on the Epic Store. So the
That's
developer
actually
ends up
really
taking
cool.
home more money. So yeah, I mean, you see all the time, like, game studios either want to like start charging 70 bucks or want to increase prices, or they're talking about financials and how expensive it is to make a game. Well, a lot of it is Steam's taking 30% of their sales.
That's nuts. That's absolutely
So
nuts.
you start off at 60 bucks and then they're only getting 40 and then per game. And so, yeah, where I think Epic's only like 10 or 12% or something
Yeah,
like
that's
that.
not. I
So
mean, obviously they need to work on some of their UI, but Valve's been around forever, so you can't. Uh, it's apples to oranges at this point, but eventually, Valve will need to step it up if it becomes a healthy competition. But
that's what everybody's up. Yeah, Valve's been around for a while, and
mhm,
generally they're pretty good, but I feel like they've been really stagnant for a while, right?
right.
And so hopefully this puts some pressure on them. Maybe they'll start coming out with some more games that will push people to stick on the Steam ecosystem, like what another Portal or
Half Life.
Half-Life. That's what I was
Yeah,
thinking of.
yeah. I've
Yeah.
never played a Half Life, but obviously I know they're popular for that. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
I went
huge.
back and played, I think Half-Life 2 kind of well after it had come out, but it was like really well done. And I've played
Mhm.
Portal also after it came out, but just great games.
Right, right, right.
And so obviously,
Yeah,
but they're more interested in just sitting back and taking a 30% cut from
right.
everybody
Yeah,
else. So
yeah, dude. I need to get around. I'm excited for Kina. Like, there's not many games where I say I'm gonna play them, and I truly mean it. I'm like, typically what happens is you're like, oh, I'll play that game. It goes in your backlog, and then you never touch it. Right? That's what happens like 90% of the time. But with this game,
that's 95% of my Switch games.
I got like 30 Switch cards upstairs, and I played like four of them. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, dude, Kina's gonna be great. I'm excited for that. I'm glad you're playing it. Super, super
I'm glad
stoked
I
you're
am
playing
too.
that. Yeah, it's a never ending battle with like you want to play an online game, but you also don't want to neglect your first person game. So hopefully we can keep this balance up. But um so what I was gonna say when you're talking, paying 40 bucks to a developer, I will pay money to smaller companies or studios all day long. Like Divinity Original Sins 2. I bought it on PC. I bought the original one on PC. I bought Divinity Original Sins 2 on the PC. I didn't even play the first one for more than like 30 hours. I think I didn't beat the game. Not even close. But then I played the second one. And then I felt like playing it on my couch. So I threw $60 more at Larian Studios just for the fact that they're such a good company in my eyes. I will spend that all day long. But you're talking a bigger company. I'm anti AAA for the last like 3 years just because of all the BS.
Yeah, there's
Not
not
to
too
not
many
to
big
jump down that
AAA
rabbit hole,
studios
but
that I really feel okay supporting. When Bungie was trying to go solo and like um just like make more Destiny content, I
mhm,
was like, yeah, I'll throw Bungie some money. I don't feel as bad buying microtransactions because it's like, okay, I'm out here, so supporting
Macro transactions.
And I want them to like, make more content. So like I didn't really care because like that was like Destiny was my game. But then, they kind of stopped coming out with as much content. Even after the Activision split, they're really still kind of money hungry, greedy-ish. And I get it, like they're a really big studio and they got to make money and they got
It's a very
but
fine line, very
yeah,
fine line, because I'll never knock a studio for trying to make money, but it's how you fold it into your game, I guess. Like,
for sure.
is,
Before,
is
when it was 100% RNG microtransactions,
yeah, that's disgusting.
loot boxes. Yeah, it was just straight loot boxes in
Mhm.
Destiny. It's just like,
Right.
no. So they've gone a better system.
I
Everything's
agree.
still kind of expensive, $5, $6, $7 for
A skin.
skins or
Yeah.
whatever else. But
but on the flip side, they're telling you exactly what you get. If a company tells you, I will spend $5 and I will get this weapon skin, I'm fine with that. If people want to be stupid and blow hundreds of dollars on whatever amount of skins, but they knew what they were getting, that's fine. But when you get someone addicted to
loot boxes,
loot boxes,
the
right?
1% chance skin, yeah.
No,
Yeah,
I'm not taking
that's
away
pretty
from the
scummy.
person starting their addiction. They're kind of stupid to begin with, but it's targeting, and I disagree with that.
But correct. But Bungie did like a really sly thing where their whole game's microtransactions, their whole game's loot boxes, right? Like it's a looter shooter. It's basically a loot box, but you're not paying for it.
You're speaking to the number one addict in Destiny 2 right now.
So they get you on this like thing of like, yeah, you get an engram, and then they're like, oh, you can just buy a bunch of cosmetic engrams, and so it's just like they kind of had you in this like system of, yeah, it's normal, it's not loot boxes.
Just kidding, your life's ruined now.
So yeah, I thought I was donating to a good company, and they, for the most part, they are. Like their whole Bungie store, they don't take a profit off of the merchandise they sell.
What do you mean?
It's charity. It goes straight to charity.
Really? I had no idea that.
They cover their costs and profits go to charity. Anything on the Bungie store.
So you're telling me Luna's Howl went to charity?
Yeah.
You're telling me my grimoire went to charity? Dude, I need to get Luna's out. She's upstairs box. I need to get her out.
It's got to be on the desk.
Speaking of merch, right? Obviously, we talked about this, but
let's go.
Look at that. How sick is that?
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, now that you can see it like in person.
Yeah. The camera's actually picking up the 3D effect pretty well.
Yeah, dude.
It's got some like depth to the image. That's really cool.
Yeah, so that was $10.
Where'd you get it at? Tell everybody, tell all the viewers.
So
the three people that are the 6 people.
We'll have to text it out. Hobby Lobby 50% off everything right now. It's absolutely insane. They have an entire aisle of just Marvel, and it took me forever to find that one because I like Marvel, I like Thor, I like Captain America, but Guardians of the Galaxy by far my favorite, and it I couldn't find any, man. I couldn't find any besides like the huge long ones that had just Star-Lord sitting in there or something. But then I found Groot. Dude, I love Groot.
Awesome.
He's hilarious. But found that, and then speaking of that, are you gonna play the new game? Dude,
I don't know.
It's a first person experience. It looks it's an alternate universe. It's gonna be fresh. It's gonna be like watching a movie.
It looks okay, but it's really hard when they literally have like characters or actors that they've already like modeled off everything.
What do you mean?
Like none of the characters look like they do in like in the MCU.
Yeah, because it's an alternate.
Yes, I get it, but it's just really hard for me to like separate that. Now, if I play it,
because you're on that Chris Pratt. Literally, you like Chris Pratt? Chris Pratt. I love Chris Pratt too. He's the new Mario. Do you know that?
I did know that.
People are pissed. I don't know why. I have no clue why.
I was always gonna wait to see how that one turns out, anyways. But it just always takes me a while when I feel like actors do such a good job with their roles. They've like become that character.
Mm-hmm.
And it takes me a while when either actor change or reboot of the system. Like I don't know. It takes me a while to kind of like the willingness of disbelief, like, so a good example is the Han Solo movie, his like standalone Solo, the like young Han Solo.
I think it's called Solo, right?
Just called Solo, yeah. Actually great movie. I actually really like it. But it takes me like 45 minutes every time
because it's a
picture him.
Actor.
Yeah, like it's just so like Harrison Ford is Han Solo to me,
Right.
So
yeah, it's just, I get it.
It takes a little, like, it's not, I don't
kind of like James Bond, dude. James Bond. Like, obviously we both, and 64, 007, GoldenEye, not even the movie, but the game, right? You tell me anyone else James Bond? No, absolutely not. I can't even think of his name right now. What's his name?
Daniel Craig. Before that,
no, the guy that was in GoldenEye.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna have to look it up.
Yeah, you look it up, but
you can keep talking, but
yeah. So I'm iffy. I'll see how the reviews go. I don't have like a ton of faith in the game that it'll be good.
Dude, I'm such a Square Enix fanboy.
I know.
I can't help it.
Okay, they've already kind of screwed up their looter shooter Marvel universe. Now, people are already comparing it to that Marvel. Now, hang on, and I will
Pierce
agree.
Brosnan, that's who it is.
There it is.
I'm stupid.
That they screwed up the end game for that game, and the grind is awful. But the campaign to Marvel's Avengers is straight fire. Actually incredible. So
I don't believe you.
Did you play it?
No.
I beat the campaign, dude. Okay. So like it starts off, it's a little bit cheesy. Like it feels like, you're just kind of like bouncing around and, oh, I'm Iron Man now. Now I'm this. But once you get like the team back together and you're going through, they have, I saw so much potential for this game. Some of the biggest like set pieces, like you want to feel like what makes Destiny awesome is the raids and the scale of how big like King's Fall was and how big Crota was, and you're taking them down. Marvel's Avengers had some massive set pieces
really
in the campaign, not even in a raid campaign.
But then they screwed up the end game.
They screwed up the end game, and they have no raids.
Problem with that? What was the problem with
it? They launched a roadmap, launched it with this end game roadmap, and they've
Anthem
released
2.0.
nothing for it. Exactly. They've released none of the things that they said in this roadmap. And so now all they can do is like they're trying to come out with new skins to sell you on, but it's like nobody's playing this game. And they come out with a new character and there's a little bit of a campaign that goes with it. And those are usually good. But then you just sit there and there's no raid in the game. And
so there's no point in playing it.
There's no point in grinding to the end game,
right?
Or getting to max level, because there's nothing to do it once you get to max level.
Right.
It was kind of like a what's the other looter shooter we played from Tom Clancy? The Division 2, 1 and 2. Yeah. Great campaign, felt really good. It worked well in the looter shooter universe, and then you get to end game and it's like nothing to do.
Yeah.
But
I get
honestly,
that.
It's worth it for the campaign.
Okay,
if
so
it goes on sale.
Here we go.
That's got a great campaign.
You just cornered yourself, because Square literally said we are building this as a single player focused game. So point A to point B before end game for the Avengers is going to be what you're getting for Guardians of the Galaxy and Star-Lord. I don't know if you're Guardians of the Galaxy fanboy like I am, but
I actually hadn't heard of, like, I wasn't like a huge like Marvel nerd, with the exception of like X-Men and Spider-Man when I was younger. So I had no idea who Guardians of the Galaxy was until the movies came out.
Yeah.
But I love the movies.
Right. Movies. I mean, it's Chris Pratt. Takes his shirt off all the time.
No. Side note, how upset are you that they're replacing Dave Bautista as Drax the Destroyer?
Yeah, that did piss me off. I saw him and I'm like, oh, like, I hope it's good still, but dude, he's hilarious in the movies where he just makes fun of that chick. It's horrible.
The second movie,
it's horrible.
Fire, dude. He improved his acting so much, man. And I feel like he's such a like video game focused person. Did you know he got offered something and he turns it down and he goes, "I think we should make a Gears of War movie instead."
What?
Yeah, Dave Bautista.
I like him. No, I like him more,
dude. I'm saying, like,
oh my god, so funny.
He's got a place in the acting scene, and definitely a nerd.
Me and Heather, like Heather's not huge into the movies, action movies, but she'll watch them. Like, she sat through and watched The Hobbit to the Return of the King with me. So she watched 6
Nice.
Lord of the Rings movies. I don't
My
think she'd
my
like.
wife says she likes Lord of the Rings, but she never wants to watch the extended edition. I was like, you're not a fan.
Oh, we watched the extended edition.
See, now that's
Side
love.
note: my wife called me the other day, and she's like, "Are Jedi's good or bad?" I'm like, "We're getting a divorce. We're done. We're done."
Now, my wife knows a lot about Star Wars, and actually, she loves the original 3. And episodes 1, 2, and 3 are okay for her, and she hates the sequels.
well, the new ones suck. They're absolutely
Yeah.
horrible.
I actually thought A New Hope was really good, and I had like high hopes for everything, but man, did they bomb that.
I haven't even watched the final movie.
Don't. Well, okay.
just don't.
The first time I saw it, I was like, oh my God, it's like really good. I was super hyped. And then as I thought about it longer, that movie had so much potential that they just didn't do. Like, I feel like Star Wars is George Lucas, I don't have to feel it. George Lucas has said it's like a space opera, or like a space Iliad and the Odyssey, like Greek mythology, just kind of like in space, right? Like just crazy stuff that like happens. But everything was kind of like predictable in the latest one. What they needed was some, like, there was a point where Rey should have gone to the dark side and like actually become a Sith, and then like Ben Solo turns and brings her back to the light, and that's how it should have been. And
See,
so while the movie was good, what made it good was was so much better than The Last Jedi, because that movie is just fucking awful. The second one is literally awful. I tried so many times. I watched it 3 times in theaters. In theaters, I saw it 3 times, and the third time I was laughing. I was like, it was comically bad.
So
it was so bad it was comical.
The thing that pisses me off about the new Star Wars, you got a dude and a chick who have barely used the Force. I'll say Rey. Rey is barely used the Force. I get it. She's supposed to be super strong, whatever. Not even her. What's the one dude's name?
Kylo Ren.
No.
Her buddy.
Yeah, her buddy. Doesn't matter. He picks up a fucking lightsaber.
It goes toe to toe with the Sith Apprentice.
Exactly.
Get the fuck out of here. Sith Apprentices are basically Jedi Knights.
Yeah, that is when I lost all respect for the entire series, or not the entire series, the new series, right?
That's the only part I think in that movie that didn't make a lot of sense to me.
The first Star Wars movies, not the 1 through 3. I'm talking 4, 5, 6, right?
Yep.
They say the lightsaber is powered with your Force, and then they go into the Disney versions. They're like, it's a fucking button. It's not a fucking button, right? Am I wrong? Am I wrong?
No, you're not wrong. Disney's walking it back now. Have you seen Disney Visions on Disney Plus? They just came out with like an anime series thing, but like each episode is in its own universe, and it's not like quite canon, but they can kind of just like do whatever they want, and each artist kind of has their own freedom to do whatever they want, and each one is kind of done in its own unique art form. So like some feel like a 5-year-old's kid movie, and some are in black and white and feel like a samurai movie, and there's people getting cut in half. So watch the first episode. Fire.
Yeah.
Everything else is kind of mediocre after that.
So my old boss is trying to get me to watch the Clone Wars. He said it's phenomenal. He binges it. Him and his kids are watching it through again. He loves it.
So many people love that show, and I've tried to watch it 6 times, and the beginning sucks, man. Like, it's so slow.
He did say it goes slow, and it's not even in canon order, right? So you have a season 1, season 2, whatever. But it could. I'm just going on a whim here, but it'll be like season 1, season 4, season 2, and he actually sent me an entire spreadsheet of the season in chronological order per canon. Like
chronological. Yeah,
they're not.
And like each episode like doesn't really connect to the next one very well.
That's probably because they're not in canon order.
Yeah, it's just, dude, it was awful, man. I've seen some great scenes from it. Great scenes. Just like you pick out a scene like the Obi-Wan Darth Maul rematch. Phenomenal. It's good stuff.
Dude, I remember being over at your house in elementary school playing with your Darth Maul dual lightsaber, double-sided lightsaber.
That's right. Oh yeah, a little backstory. Cobbs and I have been friends since kindergarten.
Yep. Yep. Best childhood memory is slap shotting that puck that broke that chick's stick.
Shot a hockey puck right through a hockey stick.
Literally
Into
like
the
something
goal.
you'd see on a cartoon. You got the stick and there's a
Just a little chunk just taken right out of it, like somebody lost a tooth right in the middle of their hockey stick. That was funny. That was a great time.
Anything else? Anything crazy going on this week? Oh, actually, I got one more thing to talk about. So my freaking internet.
Oh yeah.
Okay. So backstory to this. 3 weeks ago, maybe a month ago.
Yeah, it's been longer than that.
Maybe a month.
We're playing Apex.
Yeah. So we're playing Apex Legends, and I'm just raging, absolutely raging, like literally going to bed pissed off every single night because I'm getting outplayed. Like I'm not a phenomenal FPS player by any means whatsoever. I have a lot of friends that are way better than me, but I know I'm not a potato. I'm getting outshot by potatoes. I'm getting pissed. So talking to Dan, we open up my ports to the game
on the router. Yep. It's just seeing like kind of like high latency, latency spikes. Did you disconnect a couple of times too?
Yeah, now would disconnect from the game, come back in. Super annoying, pissed me off, but it was one of those things you don't think about because I have a nice Asus router. So I go buy another Asus router, a better gaming one. I'm like, okay, like this one's 3 years old. Maybe it is out of date, whatever. And then I take my new one. Dan recommends it's like the 8. Doesn't matter. It's like AX85. No, I'm talking the router I bought. Yeah. It's like the AX85U or something. It's Asus model. That's all you need to know. Asus model. Set that one up directly from my modem to hardwire to my PC. And then I set up Asus AI Mesh, and I put that old router into my living room because we're in an older house, so the walls are pretty thick. So I always have Wi-Fi issues. Set it up. That's working pretty good. Like, cool. And then my TV starts cutting out like 5 days ago. I'm getting pissed. My wife's getting mad. Not mad, but just annoyed.
Frustrated.
Right? Because you'll be watching. Like we've been watching Counting Cars a lot lately. Have you ever watched that show or no? We're not even into cards, but it's fun to watch. We'll be watching. All of a sudden, just sit there, you're just hanging out, and all of a sudden, just shoots the buffer, and so then I call charge
with your you have 400 megabytes download internet. Yeah, it should never buffer.
Right. So, and 2 really nice routers. Super expensive. Like when I bought that the AC 3100 Asus, that was $250. This one I bought, I think it was the same price. So I got $500 worth of routers. And anyway, so it's buffering. And so I call Charter. I'm like, hey, my internet keeps cutting in and out. So like, oh yeah, your modem, horrible. Even though I asked if it could handle 400 megs, and the previous chick was like, yep, no problem. So I go pick up the new modem from Charter yesterday. It starts doing the same thing. So then the guy comes out today. They set up an appointment. The guy comes out today. He's like, yeah. He's like, your hard line connection coming from the power line, super messed up. So he fixes that, and then he goes up to the actual telephone pole, and he's like, dude, there was water coming out of the port when I opened it up. So probably could have got away without buying a new router at all, but whatever. I mean, I'm not going to complain about new hardware, new hardware at all. So, and honestly, too, the amount of or the better connection into my other room by doing that AI mesh, phenomenal, worth the money. And I got that new router for pretty much free through my Best Buy points, anyways. But anyway, so that was my week. Pissed me off beyond belief. And then the technician,
it's with like been 6 weeks, a month of you dealing with the internet issues.
Yeah, which it sucks because it's like the last thing you think about when you have good hardware. You know what I mean? Like normally you're like, okay, I have 400 megs. Do you have 400 megs or do you have a gig?
I do, 400.
Okay. It's the last thing you think about. But obviously, if your guys' internet's slow, call whoever you're working with, CenturyLink, whatever it might be. Call them and check them. Because when the chick was calling me to try to set a ping to my modem, she said there was so much data
Interference.
losses.
Yeah.
Yeah, their packets were dropping so much data loss. She couldn't even connect to my modem. That's how bad it was. But I didn't notice it because when you're, playing or watching TV or whatever, that little buffering that happens, you don't notice it. It's back on within 2 seconds. But if it's
Yeah.
disconnecting every sintle 2 to 3
They were
seconds,
like micro drops, right?
right?
Like,
Exactly.
like
Exactly.
a second here and there. We'd be playing Discord. He'd like drop out, automatically reconnect, and you'd really never notice. You'd be like, oh, that's kind of weird, but we're good now. So
Mhm.
you keep going, and
Or I wouldn't be talking, I wouldn't notice.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Or I was loading into something, whatever. But hopefully that solves the problem. They got both service techs out today. I saw them up on the telephone pole later.
Yeah, it's always
tonight.
a lot of times that, in bad case scenarios, it does come to like techs have to come out.
Mhm.
There's, a bad cable somewhere, bad connection like yours was. Checking your modems though is good. Having like the your ISP rep like check it. That's always like a good place to start, because some of the older ones, the like it's like DOCS, whatever that standard is, 3.0, they all share similar hardware, and it's flawed. So like the CPU in it has like a flaw, and so
That's
they
good.
have like more than likely it's going to fail or is failing. So there's a new standard like DXS 3.1. It clears up new hardware, so it clears up all that old stuff, and then it has like a minimum channel bonding of like 32 downstreams and 8 upstreams, or 4 upstreams. And so kind of what that does is, if other people are bogging down a channel, it can channel hop, and it has 36 different channels that it can use to make sure you're maintaining your minimum downloads and uploads. And so yeah, a lot of people are stuck with like 8x2s.
So you're screwed if one person's doing anything else.
You have like less pipelines, or because everybody on your blocks probably got the same ISP. It all comes to one junction point. So if like they're on the same channels, which your ISP controls, you don't control that,
right?
It's going to get bogged down. And that's where back in the day, like when we were growing up in high school and getting internet, like be like, oh, it's like, everybody's getting home from work. Internet's like, I'm only getting 20 or 30 megabytes out of the 60 that I'm supposed to get, because
right.
we're all the whole block is on Charter. So
yeah. I mean, that's all that is offered around here besides AT&T, but I think their max is 100 megs.
Yeah, it's bad, and they charge same price as like 400.
But I think they go out into the country more than Charter, don't they? Or no? Maybe I'm wrong.
They do, but a lot of it is DSL and Dish internet. So they're partnered with either Dish or DirecTV or something. DirecTV, AT&T are all partnered together. So yeah, they all kind of share that. So they'll like come out with like DSL if you're like way out in the country, or satellite internet are your options. And so they cover more people, but with significantly worse internet options.
Right. Yeah. 100 megs is kind of historical at this point.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'm hopefully that fixes my issue. But other than that, man, that's all I got.
Yep.
You got anything else crazy to add, or?
Nope.
All right. Well, I'm excited to start this journey with you.
Yep.
So hopefully, I mean, really, we've already been doing it. We're just adding and recording it, adding it to the podcast, or to a podcast. So, yeah, thanks everyone for tuning in. If there is anyone out there, hopefully in the future there
Shout out
is.
to that 1 or 2 viewers of you.
That one subscriber, Ranger Casey. You know who you are. But all right, I'm gonna cut her out at that time, or at this time. So take care.